Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. On this occasion, we're once again going to discuss several leaks that I've managed to find and that I think are quite interesting to talk about. As usual, this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. Alright, now let's go straight into the main topic of today's video. On this occasion, we will once again discuss various latest developments regarding future characters in Honkai starrail. In the previous video, we discussed the early kits of Blade SP and Aventurin SP, as well as the possible early team composition of Himiko SP. For those of you who may not have had the chance to follow that discussion and are curious, I highly recommend watching it first to get a more complete picture of the three of them. However, in this video, we will slightly shift the focus of our discussion. Although we will still be talking about future characters, this time it will be a bit different compared to the previous videos. If before we mostly discussed original characters from Honkai starrail, this time we will move into a topic that is no less interesting, namely characters from the Fate collaboration part 2. As we know, the collaboration between Honkai starrail and Fate is one of the big events that the community has been waiting for, even though the first Fate collab was indeed very lacking. In the first part, we already saw how two characters from Fate were introduced into the game, namely Saber and Archer. So, what are the latest updates about these future characters, and what new information is there about Fate collab part 2? Of course, all of this information comes from fairly credible sources. With that, let's get into the discussion. Let's start with the information that has circulated previously, where from that information, we finally found out two characters who are very likely to appear in Fate collab part 2. According to Full Stop Chan via HXG Leaks, the Fate collaboration part 2 is estimated to arrive in version 4.3. In that information, it is mentioned that two characters who are very likely to become playable are Gilgamesh and RIN. If this information is true, then the choice of these characters actually makes quite a lot of sense in terms of popularity. However, there is one thing that might feel a bit strange. If this collaboration is indeed going to arrive in version 4.3, then logically, we should have already received a teaser or at least an initial confirmation from HoYoverse in the previous version 4.2 special program. But in reality, there was no information at all regarding Fate collab part 2 in that livestream. Instead, we actually got an announcement regarding another collaboration, namely Honkai starrail x Mappa. This certainly raises a big question. Is the Fate collab part 2 schedule really in version 4.3? Or is the actual schedule in version 4.4? And since we didn't get any information in the 4.2 live stream, perhaps what we can hope for next is that the announcement for Fate collab part 2 will be revealed by HoYoverse at the Honkai starrail live concert, just like how they revealed Saber at last year's concert. If there is no announcement during the concert, then maybe the schedule for Fate part 2 is not in version 4.3, or in the worst case, the information about Fate part 2 might be incorrect and not true. And now, we move on to new information that is quite interesting, namely regarding the possibility of a new Fate character besides those previously mentioned. This information comes from Seal Leaks. Although some of you may start to doubt the credibility of this source, personally I feel that we shouldn't immediately consider this source not credible and ignore all the information just because of one piece of information considered a mistake. Especially if that information was already labeled subject to change, which you should know the meaning of. What's interesting is that this information is not just a repost, but the result of data mining done by Seal. That means the data actually exists and was found in the game files. So, in that post, Seal Leaks said that in version 4.x, there might be a Fate character named CASTER. In that post, you can see the data shared by Seal Leaks in CN. I have tried to translate it into EN, but this is only a raw translation, so it might not reflect the exact meaning. From that data, we can clearly see the word CASTER name. And this is what likely made Seal Leaks think that there is a new Fate character, namely CASTER. After some time passed, HXG then gave a response regarding the post from Seal Leaks. In their post, HXG said that it's possible this is not a CASTER character as assumed by Seal Leaks. They mentioned that the data might refer to RIN Tasaka, because it mentioned bullets, and possibly refers to Gander. If you don't know, Gander Shot is a curse-type magic used by RIN Tasaka by firing energy from her finger gun, at a target to apply debuffs such as weakening condition or bringing misfortune. In a stronger version, it can be condensed into a physical attack similar to a bullet. Thus, it is possible that the term CASTER name does not refer to a new CASTER character, but is simply part of RIN's skill description or mechanics. Not stopping there, Seal Leaks then made a new post clarifying the previous information. In their new post, Seal mentioned that the data most likely does not refer to a new character, but rather part of an activity that has certain elements, such as roulette, cards, or souls-based mechanics. However, what makes this situation even more interesting is that Seal Leaks said that the data was quickly removed by Hoyoverse from the beta. This deletion of data certainly raises suspicion. Did Hoyoverse intentionally remove it to prevent further leaks? Or is the data no longer relevant to current development plans? This is quite interesting and suspicious. Then, HXG again gave their opinion, where in their post, they said that the data is most likely related to an Ensemble Star collab and the song will be Crazy Roulette. After HXG, there was another source that also responded to the information shared by Seal Leaks. That source is Yubacha. So in their post on X, Yubacha said that it was added in .51, 28 days ago, so it was in the files for 3 weeks before it was removed. I haven't verified if it has been removed. I saw people fixating on CASTER name. This isn't Fate CASTER, it's used on characters like M7 Hunt when targeting Shifu. So according to Yubacha, CASTER name is not a new character, but a term also used by March 7th Hunt when she targets an ally with her skill to make them Shifu. This means that the term most likely has nothing to do with a Fate character. However, on the other hand, the fact that the data once existed and was later removed still remains something interesting to observe. Is this just a coincidence, or is there actually something being hidden? From all the information we've discussed, we can see that for now, the Fate collaboration Part 2 is still in a stage that isn't entirely clear. Although there are strong indications of the presence of characters like Gilgamesh and RIN Tasaka, the release schedule itself remains a big question mark, especially since there has been no official teaser from Hoyoverse. On the other hand, information about the possibility of a new character like CASTER is also still very uncertain. The data that was found is indeed real, but its interpretation varies depending on the source, and it was even removed from the game files at one point, which only adds to the mystery. For now, we can only wait for further developments. Yes, that's all the information we can share today. Regardless of which is true, whether it's really a new character or just a term used by a character, what do you think? Please write your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to share this information with your friends who also play Honkai Star Rail. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on other important updates. See you in the next update.